Welcome, everybody. Pleasure to be with you, for sure, for sure, for sure. In this even stranger moment on earth, huh? Somehow the irony, or the juxtaposition, I should say. Up here we are, learning more and more about light, learning more and more about the heart, learning how to hold the space for transformation, which is what we're doing. And then being guided, each of us, to the place, the work, the relationships that serve us, but also that serve the whole. As far as I know, that's the plan. You know, when I was guided to do this work that we're doing now, do these once a month as much as we can, and do them for free. As far as I understand, that's the plan. We all need light, and we need to learn how to access it, not just for our own health, but because if we allow, we are guided, we are pushed in a direction. 1990, Jane and myself were getting ready to move to Oregon from Boston, where we had lived for 17 years. And I had a vision. And I saw, this was 1990, right? So a bunch of the stuff that's happened in these last 33 years, what hadn't happened yet, for sure. We look back on those days and we're like, oh my God, that was so lovely. It was so great. Well, you know, nothing was wrong, you know. So we're getting ready to move, and I have a vision, and I see the earth as a game board, like a chessboard. And we people were the pieces on the board being moved around by hidden hands because the game was about to start. So, where have you found yourself? What are you called to do? Where are you called to bring light to hold the space of transformation? Because that is what's happening, as far as I can tell. You know, I was leading a workshop last week, and one of the people quite rightly, quite beautifully said, I said this that I'm saying to you, and then I'm about to say a little more. And he interrupted, and he said, how does what you're seeing explain some of the horrible, horrible things that are being done? School shootings. And I said, well, you know, I don't have an explanation. What gives me comfort is what I have seen. Here's what I see. If you look, some of you, I think, have read my book, Gift of the Body. Certainly, I would invite you to do that. There's a little section in there that's called the longest 4 inches in the universe, right? So what is the longest 4 inches? The longest 4 inches in the universe is, here, I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. This space to this space, right? So I'm a tall person. So maybe in you're a short person, it's 2.5 inches, right? The process of healing is the process of moving our loyalty, our centering, our identification from the 3rd chakra to the 4th chakra. And in a general way, that is what's happening on Earth. We are being moved as a species. Humanity, humans, are being moved, kicking and screaming and fighting and resisting from loyalty to the 3rd chakra to the 4th chakra. It is that loyalty to the 3rd chakra and the headlong dedication to the third chakra that, as the song says, has got us with this in the state we're in. Right? Because the third chakra, left on it to its own devices, in me, in you, in humanity, will do, make, gain, conquer, right? In the name of getting bigger, getting stronger, getting more egoic. That's what happens to a third chakra that runs amok. When the third chakra is put under the heart, which is where we're going, where you're going, I hope you're going with me on this, then the third chakra becomes an instrument of doing, but based on the heart's imprimatur, based on the heart reading reality, because the heart can read the different layers of reality. Third chakra can just read material reality. The heart reads spiritual reality, inner reality, my reality, your reality, transpersonal reality, and puts it together and tells you, when you are dedicated to it, here's the plan. Here's the plan that takes into account all those levels. And then the third chakra's job is to say, okay, here's how we're going to do it. You see? So we are not moving to the place of namby-pamby, noopy-poopy heart. We are moving to the place of the integration of these chakras with the heart in charge. So we can do it in our mini way. And therefore, we become pioneers. But it's my very, very clear sense that that is what's happening now, because we have been so dedicated to that, and we have created, as we see, as we feel, right? I live in a place where, you know, I'm not living in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's been 117 for a month, but I am living in a place where it's been around 100 for the last month and a half. Not how it used to be. Okay, we have created that through the third chakra. And there's a bit of a race going on, if you know what I mean. A bit of a like, are we going to get to the heart before we? I don't, as far as I can tell, even on the inner planes, it's not written yet. I know there are those who hold that everything is written and everything is in the hands of God or in the hands of the angels. It's not my reading. My reading is their job is to help us, but there are rules, very strict rules as to their intervention, right? I'm like you, right? Recently, I have a little challenge sometimes sleeping, and in the middle of the night, I'm like, help me, put me to sleep. They can teach me how to do my own work. They can teach me about my own body, my own mind, my own traumas, and they can give me comfort, and they can give me light, which is what we're doing here, right? But their right to completely intervene, like come down and stop the forest fires. That's not how it works. We have made our bed. We are made our bed, and we are rolling around in it. That's how I see it. And you, me, and not just this work, thank God, right? There's 100 people here, but what we need is millions of people who are dedicated to the heart, whatever it gets called. You see? As far as I understand, that is that's the salvation of humanity. And I don't mean salvation that I'm promoting a religion. Salvation means a return to putting spirit in the first place. Having gone through all your lives, all your stuff, going down, like I'm showing here, going through all this, the first, second, third chakra stuff, tried every role, done everything, right? Been the victimizer, been the victim, been the rich, been the poor, been the sick, been the well, been the dominator, and truthfully, for most of us, been every gender and every race and every background, coming to a place of saying, okay, now I'm done. I'm done. Heal it all. Transform it all. Help me go from the longest 4 inches here. Help me climb the ladder to center myself here, which is not a panacea. When I get to my heart, everything isn't all, like some of you are old enough, the old Disney movie, the Cinderella, where the bluebirds start flying around and the little mice start making her dress, and right, and then she's getting ready to go to the ball and all that. Okay, that happens sometimes. But mostly what dedicated to the heart does is make transformation not only possible, but faster, more complete, deeper, and more lasting. And here's the important point I want to make to you, right? I appreciate you listening to this. We're going to get to the light in a minute. The light is here now. Light is here right now. That's who's talking through me. And if you breathe, you're going to feel it too. What the heart does then is, by dedicating to the heart, is we activate our intuition. It's interesting, there's somebody I read, and actually some of you have heard of him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a fantastic basketball player. He's my age, actually. He's a year older than me. And so, I followed him. He's a brilliant basketball player and a brilliant man, and dedicated to many things. And he writes a column. And if you all might want to check it out, he's super good. He's very articulate, and he's funny, and he puts videos, and it's cool. But he has a thing. He doesn't like intuition. He says he likes rational, scientific inquiry, because what he sees in the world is people being anti-inquiry, anti-scientific, anti-knowledge, anti-discussion, right? It's what's happening many, many, many places. People are reacting from an ideological overlay, and let alone examining themselves, but examining even their ideas in the face of actual reality, right? So, but he doesn't like intuition. He says people are just following, fluff and puff. But here's the thing. The work we do joins the heart with the first chakra and with the core, right? You understand this. This work of the Essential Light Institute is about building an inner structure, an inner vibrational structure that becomes our referent for how we live our lives, right? Because up until now, our referent has been what was expected of you, what the culture tells you, or your rebellion against the culture, what your class tells you, what your gender tells you, what your religion tells you, or being against that, what your parents told you, or being against that. But it's all externally referent, right? I was doing a session today, and what the person saw was how they have lived their lives according to wanting somebody to approve of them. They didn't even know who it was, right? So that's a referent. But what about when that is crumbling? What about when all of that is in the air? It is, right? The referent is no longer what your government tells you, what your job tells you, right? What your marital status tells you, what your relationship status tells you, what your money tells you, right? So many people are looking for reference, and they hook on to things which in fact don't have a basis in actual reality, right? That's not what we're learning. What I'm learning is when I change my loyalty, when I climb the ladder, the 4 inches, get to my heart, and then learn the art of being there. And when that heart is on a pedestal of the first chakra, grounded on earth, grounded on earth, centered in the heart, and receiving light. The three groundings: grounded on earth, centered in the heart, receiving light that comes this way. Then it's not just my heart, it's a grounded, discerned heart. Because the first chakra, when it's joined with the heart, provides not just grounding, but discernment. Because the first chakra puts me in this body, this incarnation, this reality, this moment, here, now. So then my intuition, which, as I said before, takes into account these various levels, has something to sit on that holds it firm, clear. Therefore, intuition, different than what Kareem thinks it is an accurate assessment of the various possibilities of what you can do, how you can do it, what you can say, when you should say it, what's good for you, what's not. So that becomes the referent: grounded, discerned, intuition. Here's the trick about it. Sometimes it tells you what you don't want to know. And sometimes it tells you to do what you don't want to do. But because you have the divine, blessed, incredible gift of choice, you don't have to do it. You can go back to those other references, try them out, see how they still work for you. You know, I'm supposed to. Go to the supposed tos. See if they still work for you. My supposed tos don't work very well anymore, I have to tell you. They haven't worked well for a while. You know, me, my wife, my family, my community, right? We don't do supposed to so good. But I would propose that we are excellent citizens because we are awakening, caring, learning the heart art of resting in compassion, learning to seek and find the space of humility, which is right here at the center of the heart. Yeah. Seeking and then finding the path of the heart. I think, in my estimation, that makes someone actually a very, very, very good citizen. Because to be a citizen is to be part of, as they say, the polity, to be part of the common agreement. I prefer the common agreement as we have here, as we do in the Essential Light Institute, as we do in my family, as we do in my small community. I prefer that common agreement to be, we are centered, our referent is a grounded, discerned, intuitively informed heart. I like it better. Because it just makes my life awesome. Even when I'm going through stuff, as some of you know, right? Many people know, I guess. Right? In April, we were in Brazil, in the middle of the Atlantic rainforest, doing a workshop with 30 people in our little thing. Super intense healing workshop, and I had a heart attack in the middle of the thing. It was as to use the vernacular, some serious shit was going on. And even in the moment, I was doing what I'm teaching you. And so was everybody around me, everybody was freaked out, including me. It was like this. But even in the moment, when I had the heart, I was in the middle of the heart attack, right? Lying on my bed, truthfully not knowing what was going to happen, and nobody did. I knew that what I needed to do, even though my physical heart was hurting bad, I needed to center myself in this place and breathe. And what came out was huge amount of emotional material that had been hidden since I was a kid. So in the moment that I was having the heart attack, I was sobbing and crying and letting go, because I knew that that was the only way I was going to survive. I had to trust my heart to clean itself, and the underlying heart, if you know what I mean, right? The energetic of the heart. I had to trust it. I had to. And everybody did. Everybody did. And it's a long story. Soon you'll be able to read it. If you go to the Essential Light Institute, you can read about it. I wrote it up. But the upshot was, everybody trusted their heart. Everybody was guided by the heart. Some things that were, what is a miracle? A miracle is something you don't expect and you can't imagine how it happened. But there were a number of miracles that happened. And here I am, right? On the deepest level, it wasn't my moment, right? It was my moment. It doesn't matter who prays or who does, right? So that's a practical use. That's the thing I want to, someday I'm gonna write to Kareem. I say, Kareem, no, intuition is practical, because otherwise you're caught in having to follow things which are only partially informed. And intuition, the heart takes in account everything. Okay. So my proposal to you is, and we're going to segue here. My proposal to you, dear ones, is that learning the art of living through by the heart is practical. It is not woo-woo. It is not, and has nothing necessarily to do with religion, although you may have a religion. But even then, your religion, right? What does religion mean? The word religion comes from the Latin, relegate, which means to reconnect, relink. So in your relinking, where are you going to relink from? My proposal to you is the simple, doable, knowable path of the heart. There is no such thing as a human that can't do it, because everybody's got one. And we have built into us literally every quality that we need to pursue the path. But for a moment, I'm going to return to something that I said. It's not a panacea. It's not like, ding, everything's fine. No, it's living my life according to that, what my heart guides. And at least in my case, I can tell you, in the case of the people that I know, the people I love, the people I take care of, the people I do sessions for, the people I teach. In fact, what's guaranteed is that very deep material is going to come up. Here's the thing, it's going to come up anyway. What you haven't dealt with is going to come up somehow, right? In my case, although that wasn't the only contributor, it came up as a heart attack. It comes up as illness. It comes up as your life falling apart because there's stuff you haven't dealt with. Somehow, because we are designed to be whole, we are designed to evolve. And in that evolution, then in the pushing to get from the third to the fourth chakra, from the longest 4 inches, the material that has been blocking that movement gets stimulated, and it turns up, and we call it symptoms. Those are symptoms. Symptoms are the interaction of what's trying to happen in you, the evolution trying to happen in you, meeting what's blocking it. That's what a symptom is. That shows up physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, lifely. So it's not, the path of the heart is not the path of everything is tickety-boo, as they say in Walt Disney. It's not everything is tickety-boo. But it means that I have a methodology internally to navigate, to go through, and to make use of what is coming up. And it means that I have a space from which to allow the unraveling of the trauma loop. It means I have a space from which to allow the cleaning of my energetic bodies, which is what we're going to do here in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Right? I hope you understand what I mean by that. Right? I'm going to ask you a question. And you're going to, some people I see on this call, I've asked you this question 17 times. I'm going to ask everybody the question. And just like, boom, it's just going to come to you. There's no right answer. I don't know what the answer is for you. I only know for me. So here's the question. What percentage of what you are carrying energetically, of the energetic load that you are carrying in your various bodies, okay? Understand what I'm saying, right? I'm talking about your vehicle, right? Your aura, your vehicle. I call it the vehicle, the HEV, the human energy vehicle, your rental vehicle, your rental house, right? So in that house, you are carrying lots of energies. Some of them are causing you discomfort, maybe pain, maybe craziness, maybe illness, right? Okay, we're going to agree to that. Here's my question. What percentage of it did not originate with you? My answer, which completely surprised me first time I answered, which was in 1988, was 85. I can feel you. Y'all are like, people are like, 72, 57, 94.6, right? Think about it for a moment. Feel into it. Okay, imagine then yourself free of all of that. It's gone. All that's left is you. Whew, huh? Probably literally you lose 20 pounds, right? You get on the scale, you're like, wow, you know. But for sure, energetically, you're going to be lighter. The first step that happens in every healing session that I ever do is that. And it's what I teach the students. We're going to clean you. I call it backing up the cosmic dump truck. And we just take an energetic shovel and we start going like, let's put it in the dump truck. Okay. So imagine if we could do that. It's what we're going to do now. Okay. Because I want you to be lighter. I want you to be able to climb your ladder of your 4 inches as you choose. Every rung on the ladder is a whole set of issues and transformations. Every rung on the ladder. I deal with a whole bunch of stuff. Whoop. And then when I get to the heart, I go up and down. It's like an elevator. I go up, I go down, I go back. And it's just the process. At some point, I stick. And I live. from my heart. It doesn't mean I never go down. It means that I know where I live now. Okay? So before we're going to segue here, but I want to tell you something. Last weekend in October, 27th through 29th of October, we are going to be offering an in-person workshop here in the House of White Eagle on our land in Ashland, Oregon. You'll get a notice about it. You'll see it on the website. It's going to be taking this that we're doing here and doing 3 days of intensive work to learn this like for real. Okay. I can tell you where we do it in our land. It's very beautiful. The workshops are awesome. The food is amazing. And the people are just fantastic. So you'll get notice about it. Here's the other thing we're doing. We're going to launch. I did last year, 2 years ago, I did a series of like this, but classes on plant medicine. Right, it's a big deal now, plant medicine. We happen to be practitioners of plant medicine. My wife and I are the leaders of a community in Ashland, Oregon, dedicated to spiritual evolution and healing. And we use a tea that we call daimi. Most people call it ayahuasca. Been doing this for 35 years. So I did a series on that. So it's also something you might be interested in, because a lot of people are interested, and it's good to have some good information, because there's misinformation going around about everything these days, huh? So that's going to be launched soon, next week or two. Then there's papers with it and so I'm letting you know, because I don't want to say this at the end. Those two things. We had an in-person workshop, and we're launching the plant medicine bundle, we call it. Okay. So here's what I want. I'm going to ask everybody to do with me the 3 groundings. Okay. Most of you have done this before. I practice it every day, and I developed it. So it's not a question of oh yeah, been there, done that. No, it's a practice. Like if you do yoga, external yoga, you've got to learn the asanas. You've got to learn how to do it, and you practice it. And the first you're awkward, and you fall down, and it's exactly the same thing. So here's how we do it. I'm gonna lead you through it. I want you to, if you're sitting cross-legged, feel your butt, feel your, as they say, your sits bones. If you're sitting in a chair like I am, feel your feet on the ground, just the sensation. And I'm bouncing my heels a little bit, because I really want to feel my feet. Okay. Now, if your feet are on the ground, maneuver your feet so you feel this part of your foot. If this is my foot, right is my toes, right here behind the ball of my foot, right in the middle, is a place on each foot. Feel that place and push that a little bit. If you're sitting, push your butt a little bit and feel it. And just breathe. Just breathe. Feel that sensation. Now, add to it, however you're sitting, the awareness of your first chakra. Your first chakra comes out of your perineum, between your legs, and goes down to the ground. Right? If you were standing up, it's between your feet. If you're sitting, it goes straight down. If you're, right? But you can tune into it also if you're sitting in a chair, between your feet as well. That space is the space of the first chakra. Feel it, see it, sense it, connecting you to the vibration of the earth. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're sitting in a high-rise apartment, if you're in your house, the core of the earth, thank God, is still vital. Well done. Now put one hand at the bottom of your torso, just above your pubic bone, and the other under your collarbone. Feel, see, sense, imagine that there is a tube, a vibrating tube that goes right in front of your spine, between your hands. That is your core. It's not imaginary, even if you have to imagine it now. Breathe. Now link these two together with your breath. Breathe from the bottom, come from the earth up through your first chakra and through your core, activating your core. If you feel nothing, what I'm talking about, it doesn't matter. I'm hoping you'll go back and practice it anyway. Now, cross your hands over your heart. Breathe, put your sensation there. Now, put one middle finger right in the center of your heart chakra, in the center of your chest. If you know acupuncture, you're touching conception vessel 17. Right in the center of your chest. One middle finger. This is the space, my dear ones, of humility. Humility resides right here. Now, I want you to make a shelf with your hands. Stick your fingers out, your palms facing up, and stick your fingers out straight in front of you. In front of your heart. Make sure it's in front of your heart. Okay. Now walk. What you just do, you made a dock. Walk out on the dock to the end of your fingers, the end of the dock. Sit down. Dangle your feet in the pristine lake. And now, for a moment, I want you to feel that space and feel the connection that you're making with everybody else, the 100 people that are on this call right now. Everybody's heart is connecting through the space of compassion, which is where you're sitting. Every heart is connecting automatically in the space of compassion. That's the circle we make to do our healing work. Now, put the heel of your hands where your fingers are. In other words, you just went 50%. Go another 50% out. And tune into the space where your fingers are now. This is the space of faith. Not religious faith, faith. The vibration of universal faith. We're going to come back to that in a moment. Now, drop your hands and breathe. You're grounded on earth. Your core is activated. And your heart is open. Last step. Turn your hand. Now you have to open your eyes. Turn your hands like this, right? Like that. Put them at the back of your head, the base of your neck. Your palms facing up. Your thumbs like this, right? And then slowly raise your hands, scraping the back of your head, opening the chimney that is there. There is a vibrating chimney, a portal, a tube that goes up like this. So go slowly, 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 open it, see it. This is your light reception channel. I'm not making this up. Your light tube. Down which light comes into your vehicle, up which comes that which the light gathers that you don't need anymore, which is what we're about to do. Okay? Do that. You're opening. When you get to the top, you open your fingers like this. Now come back, breathe. Now here's what we're going to do, dear ones. We are going to open ourselves for light to come to each of us and all of us and take what we don't need anymore to be transformed. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. I don't know why you wouldn't. Nothing that you need can be taken. So here's what I want you to do, though. Go back again to your heart, flip your hands over, go to the space of compassion. Now come to the space of faith. Right? I'm showing you like this. Here's the dip, and then you go like this. That space of faith has an altar, A-L-T-A-R, an altar built into it. What is an altar? An altar is a place of the interaction of the divine and the human. It is a place of the mystery of healing. It is a place where the divine can take and transform that which we place on the altar of faith. Again, it has nothing to do with religion. I'm not recruiting you to anything. I'm teaching you something that was taught to me. The teaching does not come from me. I was taught this by beings who were way, way smarter than me. So on that, now close your eyes. On that altar of faith, place your dilemma. Place that which needs healing, whatever it is, but the essence of it. Place your pain there. Place your confusion there. Place the process of the evolution, the development, the transformation of your life there. Because you don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I can only do it from my mind. So this right now, Jonathan, I'm putting what I've been going through these last 3 months, just my heart attack, on that altar of faith. That's what I'm doing right now. There you go. Thank you. Now here's what we're going to do. I am going to say the prayer I say. I say this before every healing. Right? This, by implication, is your prayer. That's your prayer. You're saying, I want this transformed. I don't know how to do it, but I'm asking for this to be transformed. And understand, dear ones, you're doing this now, and we're about to do this in the next 20 minutes or so. But this is going to keep going. You're making a sincere prayer now. You're not fooling around. And your guides, they don't fool around. They take you seriously. So be clear. If you're placing this in the altar of faith and you're asking it for it to be transformed, it will be in ways that you don't expect, for sure. So you can take it back now. Once we start the process, you can't take it back. You can take it back now. You can be like, ish. You can be ish. I sort of want it ish transformed. It's fine. It's fine. Light knows what it's doing. So what's going to happen in the process of that is that extraneous energies that are in the way of that transformation, some of them are going to be lifted off you organically, naturally. Some of them are just going to fly away, and some of them are going to go up your tube. So you're going to breathe, you're going to relax, and keep returning to breathing in your heart. Okay? The beings are here. The guide is here. He is here guiding this process. I promise you that. Here we go. Mm-hmm. We call here on the guides of these beloved ones We call here on the guides of this work that we have been given for the transformation of ourselves and our loved ones and our humanity. We ask that the prayers we are making for the transformation of that which we have brought to the altars of faith be heard, registered, and answered in ways that we recognize as such. We ask for comfort. We ask for guidance. We ask for clarity. We ask for courage. And we ask, as always, that what we do here be of some good use to all beings in the sacred path of unity, harmony, transformation, illumination, and liberation. Amen. So breathe and just receive. The work is done. Now it's the time to just breathe in your heart, grounded on earth, centered in the heart, receiving light, placed on the altar of faith. First stage in the healing is that there is a blanket of peace, a vibration of peace, of calm that comes to us through the space of compassion. Second stage is the activation of that material that you no longer need. So breathe. Third stage is the lifting off of some of that material. Simply breathe and pay attention. Feel how it leaves you. Breathe, breathe. Pay attention to your grounding, pay attention to your center, pay attention to your heart, pay attention to your light. Everything else is available to be lifted off.
Anytime, Debbie.
Like that. Now comes an infusion of light, filling up the spaces. Pay attention to how you know that light is coming to you. Each one of us is slightly different in our perceptive abilities. How do you feel it? How do you see it? How do you sense it? How do you know it? Now comes another round of lifting off some excess energies, extraneous energies. Breathe in your core, breathe in your heart. Everything else can be let go. Hmm. 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 Now feel your heart connected to everybody's heart. Breathe in that space of compassion. We are calling here on the beings of healing that ride on this light to answer our prayers in ways we can recognize as such, to radiate that which we have put in the altar of faith. Begin the transformation of that with the infusion of the divine Christic light. Hmm. 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 Now receive the healing that's coming to you by the infusion of light. Open yourself completely, ground yourself, breathe in your heart, open your light, open your light channel. And if you can, open your throat to receive. That opens your whole body. Receive the healing that's coming to you right now. breathe, breathe. The last part of the healing is to access your gratitude. Gratitude lives in the mental body of the front of your throat chakra, the same distance as the altar of faith in front of your throat. So if you can, as you can, put your awareness there. Feel your gratitude for the grace that has come to you now. The grace that you felt, saw, sensed, and that which you did not yet. That place of gratitude, by definition, opens you to receive even more. That's the secret of gratitude. By accessing my gratitude, I become more receptive to what is good for me. And now I'm going to convey a message from the guide of this work. Light of Christ upon you, light of Christ within you. Light of Christ to heal you, light of Christ to comfort you, light of Christ to guide you home to your own heart. May you be blessed through the infusion of that light with what we call the peace of Christ. The peace of Christ is not connected to a person. It is connected to a universal force. To be Christ's head means to be anointed, to have light poured upon you, and to receive it deep in yourself. There are those who are temporarily Christed as you are now. There are those who commit themselves to becoming that in their lives. May you be blessed with the infusion of that peace. May that peace hold you as you navigate the churning waters of your world, and perhaps the churning waters of your own little world. Know that you are not alone. Know that you have access to us, to the version of us that is particular to you. You don't have to make up stories. You can breathe, do as you're being taught here, ground yourself, breathe in your heart, open yourself to light, and authentically, truthfully make contact to that which is both within you and beyond you. What a gift you are. What a gifts you have. Use them well. Use them more consciously, more aware than you have. That is what we would call becoming truly alive. You using the divine gifts you have been given in an awakened manner. So may you be blessed as you do all this with the peace of Christ in your hearts. Access it, nurture it. Make it your beloved as you are its beloved. We ask only in return that you call light where it is needed. Spread light as you are called to do. Call those who are ready to their own hearts through the infusion of your own compassion and faith. There is no other return than we would ask, because our task that we have accepted is to help you do that. It is our joy. It is our work. It is our mission. It is our task. In these days when we say goodbye, we invoke the sacred sound of Ah. And so we say, Om, Amen, Oshala, Allah, Ashe, Shiva, Krishna. We would ask you to feel our presence as a vibration, perhaps as a sound, certainly as a feeling. Before we go, dear ones, I'm going to ask you to join me in doing something. I want to deliver a gift to somebody who is on this call, because she is as beloved as you, and especially beloved to me. Okay? Her name is Queenie. So in your heart, breathe, and let's especially send this light to our beloved Queenie. There you go. That's how we do, my dear ones. This is what we do. Come and be with us as you wish, as you feel. Take this. Use it in you. And you may even find yourself being used by it. What a gift to serve light. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your trust. If you have not checked out our website, essentiallight.org, please do. There's a full array of teachings and meditations and all kinds of stuff. Thank you. It's an honor. See some of you down the road shortly, and see some of you down the road next month. Amen, amen, amen. Aloha.